Hello everyone, it's Karina. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some outgoing Valentine's Day mail. This is going out to Zenobia. We did a swap for Christmas last year and we decided to do one for Valentine's Day. So we're supposed to do a pocket letter and some type of bag mail, like a goodie bag filled with embellishments. She had asked if I like vintage Valentines, and of course I said yes, so we agreed to do that. It's been a while since I did some vintage mail, so I was super excited about this project. I also had the perfect Valentine's Day paper, which is this one by Authentique. It's the Valentine combo. It's such a beautiful paper pad. So I'll start off with the bag first. This is how it turned out with all the goodies inside. I used a 12 by 12 paper sheet to create this bag. I folded it twice, and on the side I did this accordion style to hold my goodies, and there's another pocket here. I did get this idea from a tutorial that I watched, and I will link that same video in the description box if you wanted to make this bag. It's very easy to follow. And this is how I decorated the front pocket. So for the corners, I made a floral cluster. I added some of these floral centers underneath the flowers. And I used these photo corners on all of my corners of my bag. This is a journaling card from the collection that I cut out, and underneath there's a doily. This is an envelope and this cute little tiny postcard that I tucked underneath. I made some of these bows, and in the middle this is a button. On this side I used one of my button dies for this because I didn't have another button. And of course I had to use some butterflies, enamel dots, and then I did use some distress ink and sprayed it to create the splatters on there. You can kind of see it. Added some heart gems. So firstly, I created these cute little love banners. Whoops. This one I put a gem on top. I've die cutted this out a few times and created some layers, as you can see. Added this bow. And for this set, I used a pom-pom on top. I made these cute little clipboard embellishments. This is a die that I got from AliExpress, and these are journaling cards that I cut up to fit in my clipboard. I made these fun little shaker wands. I made some bag toppers using this really cute die. I recently picked this up and it's so pretty. It's supposed to have like this ribbon effect, which is kind of hard to tell if you can kind of see it here. But I think these are so cute. So I made her some bag toppers, and just to add some more little things, here's a charm, and I just clipped it with the clothespin. I made these shaker Polaroid pictures. For the base, I used some journaling cards. I added some bows on the top and a little label here, that way she can add like a sentiment or something, whatever she chooses. I made these cassettes And I found these in my stash. They're these cassette charms that I decided to put on top. So I made 4 of those. And this is what the bag looks like without all the embellishments. So I also made these fun shaker jars. Some cameras. And lastly, I created these layered flowers, and this is a Maggie Holmes die. So that is everything in the bag. Next, here is the pocket letter. You guys, I love how this turned out. This is probably one of my favorite pocket letters that I've made recently. There's just a lot going on. For this part, I used some pattern paper, did some sewing with blue thread. It's this one right here actually. I used this trim and the seam binding for each of the hole punches. And for the enforcer, I used some gold glitter paper. So here's a close-up of my pockets. I added my paper and I did sewing on each of the papers. This is a journaling card that I just cut up and used the frame. I added this heart and I distressed the edges. Added some flowers, some pearl clusters on these ends. This is part of a pattern paper that I just cut off this little angel and stuck it on there. Made this banner, and this is an EK Tools punch. This is some EXO ribbon from, I believe, either Michael's or Joann's. So I did that as my sentiment. So I'm using 2 layers. You can kind of see this one, which is a die. And then on top of there, I cut up this journaling card. I distressed the edges and then also used pink distress inks all around. So you can see the little pink popping up a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but that's what I did there. And then added some gems on the corners. I made a banner embellishment here. So there's 3 banners. I used some pom-pom trim and then layered another trim on it and created a bow. This heart embellishment I made myself using my punches. This is an arrow die, and I added that little angel on top. Added some butterflies and buttons. And I created 2 shaker pockets, and in the middle I made a tag, used some seam binding, made these rosettes. On my tag, I have a bunch of banner dies, which I layered up. Made this sentiment be mine with my We Are Memory Keepers word punch board. So I did layer it up and then added some stitching. And then there's some gems right here. So this set is probably one of my favorites. So I cut up this journaling card and I used my photo corner die and some gold foiled paper, and I just added them on these ends. And this is a doily, which I cut up and added 1/2 here and the other on this side. Made another flower cluster on the corners. Added some butterflies and some gold sequins. So this trim is actually the one from Dollar Tree, and I just cut up the hearts and then glued some of these heart gems, which these are from Hobby Lobby. This is one of the paper. It comes with a bunch of these cards and I just cut them up. I used my paperclip die, and this is the one from Coco and Reno. So I used the large paperclip, added some twine on top to create this bow. This is an arrow die to add some more layers. And that's pretty much it. For the back, I punched out some of the banners that she can use herself. Here are some butterfly embellishments. So they just look like this. I did a couple. These are punches from my stash. And I did do some stitching in the middle. That way she can layer them like that. I made some of the heart embellishments. And again, this was using my punches in my stash, and I also did some sewing in the middle of the hearts. For this pocket, I made more of the Be Mine sentiments in different pattern paper, and I did back them up as well for her, and she can cut them like I did for mine or leave them as is, as one whole strip. For this pocket, there's a lot of journaling cards from the collection, and I cut them up so it can fit inside of the pocket. So there's a few in here.
I made this banner trim using my banner punch, and I just did some sewing all around to connect them all together, and I think it turned out very cute.
And here are those journaling cards that I used, that I cut up from the paper. So it has a bunch of, like, this one says Valentine, I owe you. It says good for one night, and place and date to be determined by you. There's kiss, king of my heart. This is a voucher. It has some of these playing cards on there. So cute. So look how pretty the back looks as well. So that's the pocket letter. I'm also gonna be gifting her this sticker book that I got from Michael's a long time ago. I have a bunch of sticker books that I don't need, so I thought I would share with her. And then some of these cute little shaker hearts. I have a few of these too, so I'm gonna gift those to her. And in here I added some candies. Let's see, and that is pretty much everything. Let me see if I can find the card, because I did also, oh, here it is. Here's my card. I made this card a long time ago, and I finally get to use it, so I'm gonna add my note in there. But yeah, that is everything that I have to share for this swap. I have one more swap to do, so I can't wait to start working on that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!